Quickly before we get into the video, if you guys are short on cash for any of the new GTA Online content, then check out G2A's website in the description. They have super cheap and discounted shark cards. Sometimes I find mine for like 50% off, so it's a really good deal. But yeah, if you guys need some money, then definitely check out G2A's website, link below. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Saintsfan back again with another GTA 5 Smugglers Run DLC video, and today I'll be going over everything you need to know about the Hangar missions, the new missions that came in this update that allow you to make some money, because there are a lot of little things that Rockstar added that they didn't actually explain that you should know before you actually do them. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Now, just some basics on this new system, on this new DLC. In your hangar, there is a computer where you can go to access these new jobs, and you will see once you get into that computer there are 8 items to source. You have animal materials, you have art and antiques, you have chemicals, you have counterfeit goods, you have jewelry and gemstones, you have medical supplies, narcotics, and tobacco and alcohol. And you actually get to choose what items you want to source / steal, and there's no cost to sourcing them, so it's free. Now, you can source 1 item per person up to 4, so it is highly beneficial to you if you have at least 4 people in your organization. Now, if you're wondering about the MC, because it can have up to 8, it doesn't matter. Once you get past 4, it's still only going to give you 4 crates when you go and source an item. And when you come back, there is a 4-minute cooldown per item, so you can't just constantly source items back to back. You do have to wait 4 minutes or so. However, if you wanted, you could source any of the other items during that 4-minute wait period. But you don't actually want to do that, and that's where these missions get a little complicated. So I will leave a link to a few of these pictures in the description if you want to just have them, maybe save them somewhere so you can always go back to it to refer to it. But out of those 8 items that you can source, tobacco and alcohol and counterfeit goods, these 2 will only give you a maximum of 750,000 when you get 50 crates. The animal materials, the art and antiques, and the jewelry and gemstones, those 3 will give you 800,000 when you get 50 crates. And then chemicals, medical supplies, and narcotics will give you 850,000 when you get 50 crates. Now, one of the unfortunate parts about this DLC is that you can only have a total of 50 crates at a time in your hangar. Now, you may be thinking after hearing that you should only either do chemicals, medical supplies, or narcotics because they do pay the most. And that is true to an extent, and this is where it gets a little complicated. So you get bonuses if you only source a specific item. So for example, if you only do narcotics and you only have 50 narcotics, that's how you're going to get the $850,000 total. If you do narcotics, like half narcotics and then half chemicals, you're not going to get the same amount. You can see in these 2 pictures, one person did 50 out of 50 in the narcotics and they got a 70% bonus, which is 850,000. And then this other person did 25 at medical supplies and then 25 art and antiques, and total they only got 500,000 because the bonuses don't actually add up when you hit sell all cargo. So when you do these missions, pick one of the items and stick with it. You don't want to grab any of the other ones. You want to just stick to one. Now, the reason why the totals are different when you get 50 crates is because each of them have a different percentage that it increases. So for the tobacco and alcohol and the counterfeit goods, the 2 that only give you 750,000 in the end, the cargo percentage bonus, it increases 5% every 5 units. So at 50 crates, you're going to get a total of 50%, which is an extra $250,000. So for tobacco and alcohol and counterfeit goods, every 5 units that you get, the bonus will be 5%. Now, for the animal materials, the art and antiques, and the jewelry and gemstones, this one is a little bit different. So every 10 units, you get an increase of 12%, and that's totaling 60% at 50 crates, and that's what gives you 800,000. And then finally, the chemicals, the medical supplies, and the narcotics, this you only get 2 bonuses, and the first one kicks in at 25 units, and then the second one kicks in at 50 crates or 50 units, and the first one increases it by 35%, and then the second one is going to increase it by 70%, and that is what's going to get you 850,000. So that may, I know that sort of is kind of confusing. I will put the picture on the screen, and like I said, I will leave a link in the description so you can maybe go back to it. You can see in this picture, it sort of tells you at the top there what the item is and then when the percent bonus kicks in. And really what all this means is that if you're a solo player, it may be more beneficial to you to do tobacco and alcohol and counterfeit goods because you get that bonus early. Where if you're doing it with a bunch of friends, then you're definitely going to want to do the chemicals, the medical supplies, and the narcotics because you can fill up a 50 out of 50, crate total and get that full 850,000. And when it comes to selling, this is also what's a little odd. So for the most part, 1 to 10 crates only get you 1 vehicle. 11 to 25 crates makes you sell in 2 vehicles, and then 26 to 50 crates makes you sell in 3 vehicles. So if you are a solo player, you're only going to want to probably sell something with 1 vehicle, because if you had to sell 3 vehicles, that's you starting at, let's say Fort Zancudo, going to the city, and then you're going to have to go all the way back to Fort Zancudo 2 more times. So if you don't have anyone helping, it may be more beneficial to do the tobacco and alcohol that increases 5% every 5 units. So at 10 units, you could sell them with still 1 vehicle and you get a 10% increase. It's just something to think about if you are a solo player. Although, to be honest, if you're a solo player, I would just stick with the import-export stuff for making money. This DLC is really only good if you have a bunch of friends to help out. Because, like I said at the beginning, when you source an item, if you have 4 people in your organization, what is 50 divided by 4? 12, I think. So you're only going to have to do 12 source missions with the 4 people. Whereas if you're just a solo player, that's obviously going to be 50. And even if you just doubled up, if you just had 1 partner, that's only 25 source missions. So it's going to, take you less time to do. Now, one benefit, actually, this is amazing that they added this in this DLC with these missions. When you do source an item, sometimes the item spawns in some slow truck like a mule, or sometimes it's in some helicopter that you just don't want to drive. What you can do is actually blow them up, and then the cargo just spawns on the ground, and you can then pick it up and drive any car you want. You can drive an oppressor, you can fly any of the aircraft, so you can do that to get back to your base a lot quicker. Some other little tips regarding sourcing and selling. So if someone in your lobby is sourcing something and it pops up on the radar on the map, you can actually go after them and take their cargo and then bring it back to your warehouse. But really, I wouldn't do that just because you don't know what they are transporting. So if it's not something you're getting, like let's say narcotics, then it kind of defeats the purpose and it kind of is irrelevant. Also, if you steal someone's cargo and they leave the lobby, you have about 3 minutes or so until the cargo gets destroyed. And if you do die while that person has left the lobby, then the cargo is destroyed. And then the final thing to sort of justify this DLC, really, if you think about it in terms of money making, no, it's not that good. It's not as good as the import-export or the gun running or the MC stuff. Although granted, the MC stuff and the gun running is passive income, so it's kind of hard to compare. But if you break it down, if you're a solo player, it roughly equates to only like 100 grand per hour. But really, when you think about it, you do get nothing but profits from this, because let's say the cost of a hangar is $3 million. You can go cheaper, you can go more expensive, but let's just say it's $3 million. That's only going to take a few deliveries before you break even, before you make profit on your initial investment. So if you look at it that way, it's not too bad. I personally really like the missions. I think the missions are really fun. So all in all, it's not horrible. I definitely do wish the amount of money per crate was a little bit higher, because the way it is now, $10,000, it's just not that good. But that is it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you like these missions despite them not paying maybe as much as we would have hoped? I really wish, and I know they're never going to do this, but I really wish they would go and just make them double money, like forever. Because if you made them $20,000 per crate, and like the max you could get was maybe 1.7 million, whatever 800,000 times 2 is, or 850,000 times 2, then that would be much better. And I think a lot of people would be happy with that. But unfortunately, Rockstar is not in that business, so I don't think we're going to get that done. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, and in the description I will put links to pictures, and I will also put some of this info down there in case maybe it sort of confused you a little bit in the video. So if you want it in like just word form, text form, then check the description for some of it. But yeah, anyway, thank you all, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.